Hi, my name is María Pérez, and we're going to talk about the book Persepolis, the story of a childhood by Marjane Satrapi. She was born on November 22nd of 1969 in Raj, Iran. She is a graphic novelist, illustrator, film director, and children's book author, like Persepolis, Chicken Plums, and The Voices. She grew up in a middle-class Iranian family, and during her youth she was exposed to many brutalities from the regime in her country. At the age of 14, she left the country and went to live to Vienna. Some of the main characters of the book Persepolis are Margie, who represents the author, and it's a girl that is an exceptionally curious child and not one to conform to the demands of society. Her father was a photographer, and her mother stands out from the crowd. She is a very good mother. She protects her daughter, but also allows her to be her own person. The book starts with some important years, like 1979, when the Islamic Revolution started. Afterwards, in 1980, it became mandatory to use veils at schools. Also, the Cultural Revolution began, where bilingual schools were considered as symbols of capitalism, and they create separate schools for boys and girls. With all this happening in Margie's life, she decided that she wanted to be a prophet. So she started reading the Holy Book, where she found the first 3 rules established by Zarathustra: behave well, speak well, and act well. Margie's faith was not shakable, but with the revolution she had to leave her prophetic destiny aside for a while. As Margie's father said, they have lived 2,500 years of tyranny and submission. First, their own emperors, then the Arab invasion, then the Mongolian invasion, and finally the modern imperialism. The Shah's father, Reza, wanted to overthrow the emperor and create a republic, but the British influenced Reza to become an emperor instead of creating a republic, as he first wanted. They told Reza that a vast country like Iran needed a holy symbol, not a president. After explaining that to her daughter, Margie's father told her that the emperor that was overthrown by Reza was her grandpa's father, and that Reza took away from them everything they got and sent Margie's grandpa to prison for no reason. Afterwards, there was one massacre after another. People got tired of Shah's regime, and demonstrations began to be more frequent and more intense. Shah made a declaration on TV one day telling everyone that he was going to start and try democracy, but that didn't work for him. And the more he tried democracy, the more his statues were turned down. And finally, the emperor was exiled. After the emperor was exiled of the country, the political prisoners were released. Some of them were friends with Margie's parents. Another political prisoner that was released was Margie's uncle, Anush. As soon as he arrived home, he started telling Margie stories about when he was in prison. Margie's great-uncle, Feridun, elected himself Minister of Justice and based his mandate on democracy. But his father remained faithful to the Shah and his regime. One day, the Shah army arrested Feridun, and Anush ran away and decided to go into exile. He lived some years in the Soviet Union, and when he wanted to return home, he got discovered and put into prison for 9 years. Then, some of Margie's friends and family started moving to the United States because they were afraid of the Islamic regime. There was when the war started. Some of the friends of Margie's parents were found dead, and Anush was arrested again. Some days after that, the Minister of Education decreed that universities will close for a while. Also, the government pronounced that to protect women from all the potential rapists, the use of the veil was mandatory. Things kept getting worse, and Margie's family decided to go on vacation to Italy and Spain for 3 weeks. When they arrived back home, they found out the country was in war and the Arabs wanted to invade Iran again. After that, Iraqis bombed Iran, but the Iranian army did not stay still. Then the Iraqis continued bombing different cities of Iran, including Abadan, where some of Marge's mother friends live. The war had been going on for 2 years. Iraq proposed a settlement, and Saudi Arabia was willing to pay for reconstruction to restore peace to the area. But the government was against it, and those who opposed the regime were systematically arrested and executed together. Then the borders were closed between 1980 and 1983. After that, Iraqis started using ballistic missiles against Iran. With all that happening in her country, Marge's parents decided that she had to leave the country and sent her to Austria to live.